or not, for that matter. That's part of the reason why I ask you to turn off your phone, because really the only thing that I think is required for a spiritual experience is to be present. So be present with us this morning, and hopefully you will have a meaningful experience yourself, not only here as an observer, but as a participant in what's going on this morning. The cantor will say a little bit more about this issue later, but almost all of our prayers anybody could say and not feel like they are necessarily contradicting their own religious faith. So you should feel comfortable that 90% of what we say is pretty universal. So but we'll say more about that later.
Absolutely.
Page 192. We continue with a prayer for our bodies, page 194, that they work well enough that we can be here together. Reading together, Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, creating the body's many pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory that if one of them be wrongly opened or closed, it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Baruch atah Adonai, rofeh chol basar,
umafli la'asot.
Having said a blessing for our bodies, a blessing for our souls, page 196.
Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi.
Elohai
neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. So we're going to need a lot of help this morning because both the rabbi and I seem to have little coughs. So if you know any of the music that we're singing, please sing along. And if you don't, just kind of fake it on la la la.
Thank you. Yeah, our body's working well enough, just well enough that we can be here this morning together. So, a reminder, our coughs, that things are not always, and we hear more, as good as they could be with our health, but still thankful that we have the health that we do. Amen. On page 198, we begin a series of blessings called Nesim B'chol Yom. The prayer book calls them Nesim B'chol Yom, blessings for everyday miracles, because they walk us through the morning. Probably most of us woke up this morning, we opened our eyes, and we rolled out of bed and took a shower maybe, or put on our clothes, had breakfast, whatever it may have been, the order that you did that in. And most of us probably didn't think much about that. We just did it. This series of blessings asks us to stop and to take note of these moments and to be thankful for them. That the fact that our eyes did open this morning, that's a miracle. That we might take it for granted, but really it is a miracle that we're all here now with our eyes open. Acknowledging the moment that we are in, our ability to be present for it. And so this series of blessings goes over those moments in our morning, and you can find on the margin an interpretation of what each blessing is about as we make our way through this series of blessings and chanting it. Our cantor's going to tell us how we're going to chant it together.
So in order to more deeply embrace the meaning and the reason behind each blessing, we like to chant the first two lines in the normative Hebrew, the first two lines of Hebrew, and then jump down to the second line in English and continue there. As we make our way through the blessings, you'll find that most of them are indeed universal. The last maybe three or so are particularistic. So I invite you to join along in this very simple melody as you are comfortable, so that we can acknowledge the stages of waking and being present here together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor.
And on the top of page 204, we read a blessing for the study of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. And having read a blessing for Torah study, we now have to study a little Torah. On page 206, Elu devarim she'en lahem shiur, she'adam ochel perotehem ba'olam hazeh, v'hakeren kayemet lo la'olam haba. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. That means that when we do these things that are about to be listed, we do derive benefit from them during this life, but that this sort of spiritual residue of having done them stays with us for eternity. That's what this section from the Mishnah is trying to teach us. These things stay with us forever. So let's read together on the fourth line. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people.
But
The study of Torah encompasses them all. We are leaving the first section of this morning's service. It was called Birchot HaShachar, the morning blessings. And as we've already noted, all about getting ready for the day. Even Torah study in Jewish tradition, right, should be a part of the day. And we're heading out of that section into a section called Psukei de Zimra. These are a series of psalms praising God. Right, so we have to get ready for the day before we can offer any praise to God. But hopefully we're there now. Page 214. This is Psalm 92. It is a psalm that says, Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat, a psalm, a song written especially for the Sabbath day, for this day right now.
Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלב,
continue with the Chatzi Kadesh, page 224.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ויעמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחייתכו בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשו בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה ואמרו
Amen. Our call to prayer and the beginning of the main section of our service can be found on page 226. Please rise if you're able. Please be seated. We continue reading together on the bottom of page 229. You are praised who rolls out the rough, raw clay of the universe into delicate vessels of light. And from nothing at all, we could perceive in a world that has turned old, a shimmering new creation right before our eyes, made this moment just for us. How much of life reveals your presence? How much Torah unfolds from each new flower, from each new wave that breaks upon the sea? You are praised, who forms from the clay that cloaks our lives, the delicate vessels which contain our light. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMe'orot. And continuing together on the bottom of 231. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and light blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us. As we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Baruch atah Adonai, Abocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Please rise once more. Shema, page 232.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema
Please be seated. We continue on the next page.
ואהבת
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להוט על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Life without integrity is like loosely hanging threads, easily fraying from the main cloth. While in acts of piety we learn to understand that every instant is like a thread, raveling out of eternity to form a delicate tassel. We must not cast off the threads, but weave them into the design of an eternal fabric. Each day points to eternity. The fate of all time depends upon a single moment. We read responsively on the bottom of page 239. The eternal truth is that you alone are God and there is none else.
May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exalt in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore.
You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart.
The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor, asked God.
We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed is God and deserving of blessing.
Yichamocha, our song of redemption, page 240.
מי כמוך פעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נטע בקודש, נורא תהילתו עושה פלא, נורא תהילתו עושה פלא. שיר החדשה שיבחו גאולים, ושמחה על שפתיים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד יא לה 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 יא לה לה יא לה 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 יא לה 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 Ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la la la. Sol Yisrael, kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, ufedechinu mecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go aleinu Adonai tzvaot shemo, kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Gaal Yisrael.
Amen. Reese, if you'll join us on the bima as we begin the Amidah, the central prayer of this morning's service. It begins on page 242. We will chant out loud together through page 248. But then the prayer becomes a choose-your-own-adventure story, because it continues through page 260, so you have options. You can either continue in the Hebrew, or continue in the English, or if those words don't speak to you, just pray the words of your own heart. So feel free to close your prayer book and just take a few minutes to pray a silent prayer. In a second, I'm going to ask you to rise, but when you are done with your prayer, whether you're reading through the prayer book or you're praying those words of your own heart, please make sure that you sit down so that the cantor and I know that we can continue together as one community. So again, out loud, beginning on 242 through 248, and then silently, if you're going to continue in the prayer book, through page 260. If you're able, please rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומביא הגשם, מחכה חיים החסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, מדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני, ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני דור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד פוד לך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Page 250, 250.
ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת כולם ישמעו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. רצית בו וקידשת שבת חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת ישמחו למלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונן שבת ישמחו למלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונן שבת זכר למעשה וראשית שבת זכר למעשה וראשית שבת ישמחו למלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונן שבת ישמחו למלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונן שבת.
You ready, Reese? Okay. If you could join us back on the bima and bring your parents with you as well, please.
You can leave your prayer books.
Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of Torah begins on page 362. Page 362. Please rise if you're able.
אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור אדוני מלך אדוני מלך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו ושלום אב הרחמים היטיב ברצונך את ציון תבנה חומות ירושלים תבנה חומות ירושלים כי בך לבד בטחנו מלך אל רב ונישא אדון עולמים כי מציון תצא תורה כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה תורה ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
And we are going to head to the front of our bima. And if sorry,
There's also great-grandma.
oh, that's right. And if grandparents and great grandmother could join us on the bima, that would be wonderful. So, Reese, in a few weeks, we'll be out of the book of Breshit, out of the book of Genesis, and into Shmot, the book of Exodus, where our people receive the Torah at Mount Sinai. But our rabbis, they love to write sort of extra narratives. They like to fill in gaps in the text. They're called midrashim. And in one of a very famous midrash, the rabbis write about this moment when God was giving Israel, our ancestors, this Torah. And they didn't imagine that God just did it without having guarantees about the Torah and guarantors for the Torah. And so the Midrash tells us that God said to the people, listen, I have this great teaching. That's what Torah means, actually. It means teaching. I have this great teaching for you, but I need good guarantors for it. And the people say, that's easy, no problem. Our elders, that's all of you people down here, including from your mom on. That's what they mean. And God said, no, not for the sake of your elders will I give you this Torah. And the people said, okay, fine, if not for the sake of our elders, then for our prophets. Our prophets will be our guarantors for Torah. They're going to speak for you one day, of course. God says, no, not for the sake of your prophets will I give you this Torah either. And finally, the people, they come back to God, they say, okay, fine, if not for the sake of our elders, if not for the sake of our prophets, then let our children be our guarantors for Torah. And God says, okay, for the sake of your children, I will give you this Torah. So our rabbis imagined, right, this actual scroll and all of Jewish literature as Torah. But, of course, that's not all of the teaching that we get from our tradition and from our families. There are teachings that are a part of us that we don't even recognize as having been passed down from a generation before, or two, or three, or four, or five. They're just a part of who we are, a part of who we've become. They're things that your grandparents and your great-grandmother don't even realize are a part of them that have been passed down from generations before. But they are embedded in who you are, Reese. And that is one of the great honors in life, of taking forward teachings that are a part of who you are and passing them on to the rest of the world. And certainly in this moment that you're bar mitzvah, having become a bar mitzvah, having assumed the moment where you can carry on Torah for all of the Jewish people, most deeply in this moment we think of Jewish tradition as well. Not that it's being handed off to you. That's not the purpose of this moment. Not to say that somehow it doesn't matter anymore to previous generations and now it's your responsibility, but now it is also your responsibility. They haven't given up anything. They've only passed on this to you as well. And so in a moment you'll hold this Torah scroll and you will walk it through this congregation as a sign to all of us that yes, even though it belongs to Reese, it also belongs to all of us. It doesn't just belong to the rabbi or the cantor or the bar mitzvah. It belongs to the entire community. So we're going to pass this Torah down to you symbolically from one generation to the next, and we hope and pray that you will continue to pass it along as well throughout your life.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shema, Lecha Adonai HaGedula VeHaGevura VeHaTiferet VeHaNetzach VeHaHod Ki Cho B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz Ki Cho B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha V'Yamit Naseh
bechol erosh. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
We invite Ann, Kelly, Dan, Jack, Zoe, and Julie Malmed to the bima to undress our Torah, please.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Please be seated. Thank you all very much. Thank you, thank you. As you may know, the Jewish people read through the entire 5 books of Moses over the course of the year. We are just about halfway through the number of Torah sections, number of readings in the book of Genesis. So we just started over again, like 6 weeks ago or something like that, which is always just a lot more fun for Bar Bat Mitzvah students to have to get to interpret narratives from Genesis rather than Leviticus, let's say. So you're lucky. Yeah. Okay. So it's a story that I imagine a lot of us are familiar with from this morning, the narrative about Jacob and Esau, both the bargaining for the birthright, and then later on in the Torah portion, the how should I put it? The manipulation that led to Jacob receiving a blessing that at least a surface reading of the Torah text might tell us was meant for Esau. And then eventually, Jacob fleeing Canaan, where they're living together, because his brother Esau wants to kill him. And not just in a I'm going to kill you sort of way, but in a I'm really going to kill you sort of way. And so Rebekah and Isaac say to their son Jacob, "You need to get out of here." And he heads off to live with his uncle Lavan back at the hometown, way over in what is now Iraq, and there he'll go on to marry Rachel and Leah, as well as acquire the handmaids as well, and have many children. He'll be there for 14 years until he returns, and actually things turn out okay with Esau. They see each other, they embrace, they kiss, and everything seems to be better. But this is really, in some ways, that's beginning the pivoting from a story about these initial sort of Hebrew, we could call them, patriarchs and matriarchs, to Israel, right? Jacob will become known eventually as Israel, and therefore then his children, Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, which is then the Jewish people. So this is a sort of important pivotal moment in the story, in the narrative of our people, and Reese is going to offer us an interpretation on the very first section of this week's Torah portion in a few moments. Reese will be reading 3 aliyot from the Torah, so we'll be calling up 3 different sets of people. If you have a handout, I know that we did not make enough this morning. I'm sorry about that. So if you don't have a handout, then you could maybe ask somebody to share with you. There is a loose piece of paper in there, and on that piece of paper you can find the 3 aliyot that Reese will be reading, both the Hebrew and the translation of that Hebrew. Shall we start calling people up, Reese? Sounds
Great.
good? Okay.
Ya'amdu ba ben Vinny Strasberg la'aliyah harishona.
Baruch Adonai Amvorah.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Amvorah Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ato Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Banu Mikol Amin V'natan Lanu Et Toratu. Baruch Ato Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. You have enlightened this path with wisdom of Torah, giving it to the Jewish people as their particular way. Blessed are you, merciful One, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
Amen. Vatomer Rivka El Yitzchak Katzti v'chayai mipnei benot chet im lokeach Yaakov Isha mimnot chet ka'ele mimnot haaretz lamali chayim vayikra Yitzchak El Yaakov vayevarech oto vayetzavehu vayomer lo tikach isha mibnot Kenan kum lech paden aram beta vituel avi imecha v'kachacha misham isha mibnot lavan achi imecha.
Baruch Ato Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Matan Lanu Torat Emet V'Chaye Olam Nata Bochenu Baruch Ato Adonai Noten LaTorah.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creations. This Torah is a teaching of truth, whole and balanced, and from it comes eternal life for the people who embrace it. Blessed are you, merciful One, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
You can head to that side of the meeting table.
Ya'amdu Valerie Strasberg and Aaron Berman la'aliyah hashniya.
Baruch et Adonai Chamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Chamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. You have enlightened this path with the wisdom of Torah, giving it to the Jewish people as their particular way. Blessed are you, merciful One, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
Amen. Ba'el Shaddai Yivarech Otcha V'yafrecha V'yarbecha V'hayita Likol Amim V'yiten Lecha Et Birkat Avraham Lecha Uzaracha Itach L'rishtecha Et Eretz Migurecha Asher Natan Elohim La'avraham V'yishlach Yitzchak Et Yaakov El Aviv Vayelech Padena Aram El Lavan Ben Betuel Ha'arami Ahi Rivka Em Yaakov V'Esav.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. This Torah is a teaching of truth, whole and balanced, and from it comes eternal life for the people who embrace it. Blessed are you, merciful One, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
Amen.
Oh, wait. Stay with us. So here, I'll tell you why, though, that you stick around. Because there's room. And since there's room, we stick around for the next Aliyah because the honor of having received an Aliyah is so great. Our tradition teaches us that we don't just run away from the words of Torah. If we can stay close to them for a little longer, we stick around. So that's why you'll usually see when there are multiple Aliyot, people going from one side of the reading table to the other. So it's your turn now. Reese, you've been reading Torah for other people so far, right? And this is a important moment that signifies a difference in status, actually, amongst the Jewish people. In many communities, there are young children, 6, 7, 8 years old, who read Torah, and they'll do so publicly. But you cannot say the blessing until you become a bar mitzvah. So that's an interesting idea, that it's not the actual reading of the words from the scroll that is the aliyah, it is the blessing over those words. And in fact, your mom could have come up here and said, "No, I'm gonna read for you." She could have knocked you out of the way. She could have said that. She probably knows it. She's heard you. I imagine. No. She doesn't know it. Some parents do. Their kids are chanting it for so long. That's right. You ran away, Valerie. But of course she didn't do that. One, because it's really hard to read Torah, right? So everybody, if you're looking on that loose piece of paper, the Hebrew there, if you don't know Hebrew, obviously it's hard to know exactly what you're looking at, but the sort of big characters there are the consonants, and all the little dots and lines underneath the letters and above the letters. That's a mix actually of vowels and the cantillation marks that Reese is using to chant the Torah. None of those things, besides the consonants, are in the actual scroll. And in fact, there's no punctuation in the scroll. There's no capitalized letters in the scroll. It's all just columns of consonants. And it's handwritten, so it's not always spaced out properly. And, I don't know, when I write something, sometimes one word can bleed into the next sometimes, and it's hard to tell where one ends and where one begins. That happens in the Torah scroll.
And also the calligraphy is kind of different and interesting.
Yeah, everybody's got their own handwriting. Yeah. So it's complicated to read Torah. That's one of the reasons why usually one person or two people read the Torah, and then other people come up for the Aliyah. So back to this idea of the blessing. I think that this moment, for me certainly, and I hope for you, teaches us something about life. That you should punctuate your life with blessings. And that even when you're doing something that you've maybe done before, just like you're about to do right now, or you've read Torah already twice, that even then, when something special happens in a moment that makes it different, say a blessing and signify that moment. Let blessings be a way that you bring more meaning to your life, that you bring more sweetness to your life. They don't have to be in the formula, the Hebrew formula from our tradition. That's not exactly what I'm saying. What I am saying, though, is to stop and say thank you. Stop and say wow. Stop and say, wow, what a gift it is that I can be here to experience this. What a gift it is that I can be here to witness this, to add to this, to build upon this. Whatever it may be, whatever the moment is in your life, don't forget to stop and notice. Because if you don't, life will just pass you right by.
Wait a minute. We call you up specially first,
Oh,
so
that's
stay
right.
here with me. Ready? Ya'amod, 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 Habachor bar hamitzvah, Yosef ben Ariel ve'Aharon, la'aliyah hashlishit.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Vayar Esav ki verach Yitzchak et Yaakov v'shilach oto padena aram lakahat lo misham isha bivracho oto vayetzav alav lemor lo tikach isha mibnot Canaan. Vayishma Yaakov el aviv vayimo vayelech padena aram. Vayar Esav kiraot benot Canaan be'enei Yitzchak aviv. Vayelech Esav el Yishmael vayikach et machalat bat Yishmael ben Avraham achot nevayot al nashav lo leisha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. All right, you've said blessings. Now your parents get to say a few blessings, okay?
Don't worry, she's not running away.
So, Reese, there's so much that we could have shared this morning about you and our growth together over the past 13 years. As Dad and I, predominantly Dad, put together the montage, I think he spent 100 hours reminiscing through photos, and maybe 10% of that was actually getting the montage together. But really what it was is we're going back through all the things that define you and make you so amazing. And there were countless hours, because there's not one thing. And that's what's so powerful. It's more powerful than just one thing. But this morning, I want to share a little story about how your spirit and the power of your spirit doesn't just affect us, but we're amazed by how it affects everyone. So what came to mind when I was considering it was the morning on August 5th, the day after your second birthday, and the morning that I found out that your great-grandfather, Charles Strasberg, the Holocaust survivor, had passed away. So Dad came in, and he told me the news. He had let me sleep in because I was up with your brother, who was a month old. And I started crying, and I got up after, morning, went to the kitchen table, and you sat with me as I was eating my cereal, and I was just sad. And at 2 years old, you slid your hand over, put it on mine, and looked at me and said, "It's okay, Mom. He's like the wind now." And that was it. And you, my love, are an old soul who's so full of wisdom that you continue to give Dad and I so many teachings. So the blessing that we'd like to focus on today is really the transition that both you and we are going through. As your parents, we've spent your whole life guiding and teaching you and telling you how to navigate the world. And now we're moving into a different part, and a much longer part. And while we'll still be here, our relationship is changing, because our new role is really to simply support you and the choices that you make. And this is hard for you, and it will be hard for you, but I really think it might be harder for us. It puts more responsibility on your shoulders to determine if decisions make sense for you and if they're comfortable in how they might impact others. So we're still here for you, but we have to let you make them, and that's not easy for either of us.
So Reese, you have already been amazingly unafraid of being who you are. Don't lose that. Our blessing is one that you have heard and you will continue to hear. Always be true to yourself. It's a really poignant piece of advice, but I often think if someone gives it to me, thanks, but I don't really know who that is right now. Not exactly sure. And I think that it's understanding yourself is not a single event or like one moment when you're like, hey, oh, that's who I am. Oh, of course I know who I am. That's me. It's this sort of constant conversation that you have your entire life. There's all these questions that you will continue to ask yourselves, and people will say, there were some great quotes that I had come up with that I'd found, to give to your son on their bar mitzvah. To be gentle but not weak, righteous but not self-righteous, have a strong character but not tough. And those are not questions that have easy answers. Those are questions that you're going to continue to you have to be curious about these questions. You have to continue to ask them throughout your life. You have to ask them about other people around you. What are their, how are they feeling? What is going on in their head as well? It's this sort of constant conversation, but you have to listen for that voice. That's even when life seems really crazy and out of control, you can always sort of calm and listen to that voice inside of you. So don't be afraid of this process of continuing to ask and ask questions and evolve who you are and change. And don't be afraid or intimidated by people who seem like they have it all together, because they probably don't. So keep exploring and growing, and life will always be an adventure. But always know that you have us, and also the people in this room, and even some who have passed away, that love you and are here to help you achieve greatness.
We invite to lift and dress our Torah, John and Susan Friedberg, Janelle Hovde, and Bob and Madison Berman, Brandon Strasberg, and Matt Berman. Please rise if you're able.
V'zot Torah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la la la. Do 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 do
Seated. Go back to it. Continuing on that loose piece of paper in your handout, on the back side of it, you'll see it says at the top, Haftarah reading for Toldot. Haftarah is our sections from mostly the prophets that were added to our service like 1,000 years ago or so, something like that. And usually the Haftarah is connected to the Torah portion somehow. There's some theme or idea in each of them that is a thread that links them together that our sages wanted to highlight. So, Reese will be chanting a blessing before the Haftarah. He'll be chanting a few verses from the Haftarah and then a blessing after as well.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar B'Nvi'im Tovim V'Ratza V'Divrehem HaNe'emarim Be'emet Baruch Atah Adonai Habocher Batorah Uv'Moshe Avdo Uv'Yisrael Amo Uv'Nvi'ei Ha'emet V'Tzedek.
Amen.
Masa Devar Adonai El Yisrael B'Yad Mo'achi Ahavti etchem Amar Adonai V'amartem Bama Ahavtanu Haloach Esav L'Yaakov Ne'um Adonai Va'ohav Et Yaakov Va'et Esav Saneti Va'asim Et Harav Shemama V'et Nachalato L'tanot Midbar Ki Tomar Edom Rushashnu V'nashuv V'nivneh Choravot Ko Amar Adonai Sivaot Hema Yivnu Va'ani Eheros V'karu Lachem Givurisha V'ha'am Asher Za'am Adonai Adolam V'enechem Tir'ena Va'tem Tumru Yigdal Adonai Me'al Ligvo Yisrael Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Sur Kol HaOlamim Tzadik Bechol HaDorot Ha'el HaNe'eman HaOmer V'oseh HaMdaber U'Mkayem Shekol Devarav Emet V'Tzedek All HaTorah V'All HaAvodah V'All HaNvi'im V'All Yom HaShabbat Hazeh Shenatata Lanu Adonai Eloheinu L'Kedusha V'Limnucha L'Chavod Ul Tif'aret Al HaKol Adonai Eloheinu Anachnu Modim Lach Umvarchim Otach Yitbarach Shimcha B'fi Kol Chai Tamid Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. We invite to our bima to open our ark as we return our Torah scroll, Sarah Addy and Jim, Layla, and Sharif Berman. Please rise if you're able.
Hodo al eretz v'shamayim vayarem kerem le'amo tehila lechol chasidav livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Eitz chayim hi laman chazikim ba v'tomchecha meushar derachecha darchei noam b'chol Yashivenu Adonai Elecha V'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Be seated. It takes our students about a year to prepare for their bar bat mitzvah, and I think the hardest thing we ask them to do, though, is to write a Devar Torah, to look at a text that's about 3,500 years old and say, what's this got to do with me in 2018? But I also think that the fact that Jews do this is one of the reasons why we continue to persist, that we understand that Torah scroll, while it itself never changes, that scroll has been copied from a scroll before it and a scroll before it and a scroll before it for a few thousand years. The way we interpret our text does continue to evolve. We understand our Torah text to be a living document. And while we appreciate for sure as much as we can understand the original intent of the document, we also know that in order for it to for its meaning to continue to be present in our lives, we need to continue to reinterpret it in our own times. And so what we ask our students to do is link themselves to this chain of tradition and offer a Devar Torah, a word of Torah, not a word to be put in there, but a word to share with all of us about their understanding of the Torah portion. And it's an honor to have been able to work with Reese and to get to hear him now deliver his Devar Torah publicly.
My portion mainly focuses on Jacob and Esau. They were twin brothers who were about as different from each other as possible. Jacob was just a studious, stay-at-home kind of guy, while Esau was a guy who was always out hunting in the fields. Jacob was a much quieter and calmer person, and Esau was a loud, short-tempered person. Their parents were Isaac and Rebekah. Rebekah favored Jacob since he was always calm, while Isaac favored Esau since he brought food to the table. So yeah, they were really different. At one point in the portion, Esau comes in after hunting and smells Jacob cooking lentil stew. Esau, starving, demands from Jacob a bowl of some of the soup. Jacob tells Esau he will give him some of the soup if Esau gives Jacob his birthright, which is most of the family's wealth, land, livestock, and possessions. Esau agrees, and Jacob gives him a bowl of the soup. There are at least two things that bother me about this narrative: Esau's hasty decision-making and Jacob's manipulation of the situation. Jacob and Esau were brothers after all. The fact that Jacob was willing to steal the entire birthright from his brother, without a doubt, being born the second son in the ancient world was not preferred, but to stoop so low as to manipulate the birthright from one's own brother is terrible. I, like all siblings, bicker, argue, and wrestle with my brother. We know that Esau and Jacob hated each other, but the fact remains that no one should treat their sibling in such a way, and clearly not all the blame lies with Esau. Some of it lies with Jacob. He manipulated his brother when his brother wasn't really thinking straight, and used it to trick Esau into making a bad decision. Of course, every person must be held accountable for his or her own decision-making. Esau did have free will and knew what he was doing. We are all probably guilty on occasion of making hasty decisions, of sacrificing some future goal or outcome for some immediate desire. Often, when we do this, we don't think before we act. This is just human nature. Almost always, it is better that we think before we act. Esau was obviously hungry, but he gave up all the land and stuff that his father left him. which in the long run really is not wise. These small choices can affect us in big ways. Sadly, we live in an instant gratification society. One example is drug abuse. It is a sad but true thing in our world these days. I am sure we have all heard of the devastating effects of the opioid crisis. People who get addicted to these drugs will often be addicted to the small, uplifting feeling that they get after they take it. There is instant gratification in drug abuse. Otherwise, people would not use drugs. These small, uplifting feelings don't compare to what will happen in the future. We all know people die from drug abuse, even from legal drugs, like tobacco due to lung cancer after being addicted to smoking, or overdosing on even more dangerous drugs. The instant gratification is not worth death. Most of us in this room right now are not addicted to cigarettes or any other drug. However, I bet many of us are addicted to something. I bet many of us are addicted to those small computers in our pockets. We love getting text messages. We love watching the newest YouTuber. We love looking through Instagram. We want to be the first to see something funny and the first to repost it. What do we give up by being so addicted to our smartphones? Time spent with real, live friends. Time outside in nature or playing sports. Reading wonderful books. Just seeing the person sitting in front of us. Smartphones, of course, are not all bad. They are very helpful. However, when we prioritize the immediate gratification of those wonderful little computers, we lose out on other long-term benefits to our lives. Hasty decisions are in our day-to-day lives. They all affect us in different ways, some very small and some much bigger. Our goal is to be able to know the difference between decisions that can be beneficial and ones that can be detrimental. It is always okay to make mistakes, but we have to try to think before we act. We should always try not to make the mistake that Esau made.
Thank you for that, for your take on this situation between Jacob and Esau, and for your sense of the hasty decision-making that Esau made in that moment where he was standing in front of his brother. While you were speaking, I hadn't really thought about this before, but it is a little unfair that you offered the commentary you did as the older brother. You feel like I feel like you sort of have a horse in that race. So you weren't completely even-handed based upon your position in life. That's okay though. We'll take it. I understand, and you're right that brothers hopefully don't treat each other okay like Jacob and Esau treated each other. So thank you for that, and thank you for bringing this awareness of hasty decision making to us. That is a major piece of what happens between Jacob and Esau. When we were talking about the hasty decision making, it was in conversation that we talked about that instant gratification part of American society. Maybe it's the entire world now, I don't know, but certainly it's a part of who we are as Americans. And I think that you raising this up, you gave two examples, but of course there are many, many more of the ways that we seek the immediate gratification in life. That you help us through your Devar Torah see that we really need to slow down in our decision making, think a lot more about what we're doing and why we're doing it, because as you said, when we make hasty decisions, there can be really catastrophic consequences when we make those decisions. Of course, they aren't always all bad, but usually if we don't take the time to really think about it, the likelihood of something bad happening, I think, goes up. So thank you for bringing that to us and for raising that issue with us this morning. Yasher koach. We're going to take this off. It is an honor to have with us this morning Jack Zients. He is the VP of ritual, of religious practice, something. What's it actually called? The religious practice. I never know.
Who does stuff.
Yeah. He has some words for you and some gifts as well.
Hi, Reese. Congratulations. Mazel tov. As Rabbi said, I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of Temple Beth Emeth, and so as a member of the Board of Trustees and as a member of our community, I just want to say how proud we are of you, what a wonderful job you did, what a wonderful family that you have here today. We do have a few things we want to give you. Most important is your bar mitzvah certificate. Congratulations, you did it. I hope all your friends know exactly how much work it was to get you to this spot. Secondly, I want to give you a gift certificate. This is a gift certificate to help you do a nifty summer in Israel trip. I hope you and your family think about you doing it, a little brochure about what that trip is. And then our Brotherhood and the Women of TBE have gifts for you. The Brotherhood has a mezuzah cover, and the Women of TBE have a Kiddush cup. I hope you use them both well. Mazel tov.
Thank you. All right. I get the honor of giving you a blessing in front of our ark. Please rise if you're able.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. May you trust in generations past and yet to be. May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your eyes shine with the light of holy words, and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom, your fulfillment be in justice, even as you ever yearn to listen to the words of the Holy Ancient One of old. May you live to see your world. May you live to see your world. May you live to see your world fulfilled.
It's an honor to give you the oldest blessing of the Jewish tradition, the priestly benediction. Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious with you. And when God's face is lifted up to you, may God grant you the most important blessing any of us can have. May God grant you peace. Can you hear Ratzon? May this be God's will.
Amen.
You can go sit back down with your parents. Please be seated. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Avinu Shabashamayim Tzur Yisrael B'Goalo Barech Et Medinat Yisrael Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Amen.
We continue on page 5. 586 with Aleinu as we begin to conclude our service and invite to our bima to open our ark once more Jaden Berman, Tom, Liz, Mary Berman, and Charlie DeWolf. Please rise once more if you're able.
Whichever one you want. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני
ושמו אחד. Please be seated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. In a few years too, you can. Yeah, Jaden, you can spend a lot more time up here in 2 years. Yeah. Okay. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. It is a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death has touched. We are in the first 30 days of mourning, the period of Shloshim for Martha Kimball, Leonard Stapin, Herbert Solomon, Jeanette Miller, Jacqueline Benson, and Gertrude Makatoff. Our yahrzeits this week are for Eugene Bach, Ann Cohen, Lane Decker, Irving Flumenbaum, Harry Friedland, Robert Gladstone, William Glassner, Marjorie Gorbaji, Maurice Gorbaji, Martin Katz, Howard Clivens, Muriel Colwyn, Leonard Leftwich, Tom LeSueur, Herbert Levitt, Claire Lindner, Jenny Lipson, Martin Malter, Clara Margolis, Joseph Menlovitz, Mike Miller, Harry Miller, Isidore Oberman, Gertrude Resnick, Sam Sarver, George Chattel, George Schreiber, Betty Seaman, Sylvia Smith, Irving Steinberg, Margie Steiner, Karen Steifel, James Walsh, and Bonnie Wheel. If there are other names to add to our list for mourning, please do so as my eyes meet yours. For all of those mentioned, for all of those who go unmentioned, and for all of those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, we rise once more, page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'amad yivarach chirotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitshomam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael
Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be forever a blessing.
Amen.
Please be seated. Jaden, you get to come back up with your brother and your parents. Get our wine and our challah for Kiddush and Motzi. Oh, is that a homemade challah? It looks.
I think it's Amanda.
Amanda.
Very delicious. But first, the blessing for wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim. And the blessing over the challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. So we'll take a small little bit of challah right now, really small because we're about to sing. But we'll look forward to breaking bread together in the social hall as we celebrate this wonderful morning.
Oseh shalom b'romav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens above make peace for all of us, for all of Israel, for everyone who dwells here on earth, and let us say amen. Oseh shalom b'romav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. So a big mazel tov to Reese and his entire family.
Mazel tov.
As you're exiting our sanctuary, if you could please take your prayer books with you and those handouts with you, it'll make the lives of our ushers a lot easier. We'll see all of you in our social hall. You're going to exit and make a left and follow the hallway around to the right. You'll find it.
And a quick note, our 6th grade families will meet you down there as well.
Good job. Mazel tov to you. Mazel tov to you. Mazel tov to you.
Send you another. Your eyes were lighting. Regina, your eyes were lighting up. I was going to do some food. It's a very traditional melody we have in our show because I'm beautiful choir. Thank you. We have a lot of really musically talented people and the director.
Shabbat Shalom. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam ya. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Okay, I know you're all wondering. Number one, where's Rabbi Josh, right? Well, now you get me. Yay! Oh, wait. That was really lame. I want really good cheers for me. Okay. I feel better. Thank you. And the other thing you're probably wondering is, like, why is there a screen and a projector here? So we are, what was that? Because of that, exactly. We are. We're going to watch a video about a camp, and we're going to meet somebody who runs that camp. So I'm going to ask Rabbi Daniel to give you a little bit of information before we introduce you to our guest. We are so super excited to be able to share all of this with you today. Are you ready, Rabbi Daniel? All right. Rabbi Daniel needs about 30 seconds, so let's do Hine ma tov one more time. And Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad.
Hello everyone! We have a very special guest, two of them actually, maybe 2.5. I'd like to invite up the Executive Director of Camp Devorah, Amit, to tell you all about, and her friend Randy, to tell you all about Camp Devorah.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Boker Tov. So my name's Amit, and I have the pleasure of working at a camp, which is a pretty fun gig because it means that I get to live at a summer camp during the summer. And it's really lovely to be here. Hello, at Temple Beth Emeth, because when I was a U of M student, I actually helped to teach religious school on Saturday mornings and Sunday evenings. So it's lovely to be back. I've slept over here many times as a middle schooler and high schooler, so good to be with you all. I'm here this morning just to give you a little bit of information about the summer camp, Camp Tavor. I know, who goes to summer camp that's out here? All right, lots of you. Not this one. Absolutely. Well, and camp can be an amazing way for us to continue to learn about ourselves, our Jewish community, our families, and there are a lot of phenomenal camps. So I'm just here to tell you about one. And if you have any questions, I'll be available. We can talk a little bit during the presentation and also afterwards. So Camp Tavor, what makes Camp Tavor special is that it's based on a kibbutz. So can somebody in this room tell me what a kibbutz is? Have we heard that word before? Is that a hand? Maybe not. Anybody know? Okay. Well, so it is the idea of sort of a community where everybody takes care of one another. So just like in your family where you all take care of each other and share different responsibilities and love each other and learn from one another, it's the idea of sort of doing that on a little bit of a bigger level and doing that with the people that you live with, the people that you go to school with, And so Camp Tavor is based on the idea that we're all going to live together and be responsible for each other during the summer. We're all going to be leaders. That means we're going to take responsibility and help to create programming. We're going to help clean and prepare the camp together. We're going to both benefit from the programming and give to the program. So that's what we try to create during the summer. So we're just like other camps in that we have swimming and sports and arts, and camping and tikkun olam. And we have this other layer where the campers at all ages, from 7 years old all the way through, take responsibility, and they teach and they share, and they're really the leaders of the camp in a lot of ways. So I think it's nice to sort of sometimes see a video, get a sense of what I'm talking about. So the next slide, if you click on this, it's just like a minute-long video. Thank you. So Camp Tavor is about 2 hours from Ann Arbor, which is really nice because it can feel like a world away and a special magical place. And also you're not so far from home. So it's nice to have the best of both worlds. And we have programs, bless you, anywhere from 1 week to 7 weeks, the entire summer. So most folks start with us for about 1 week and get the experience of being away from home with their friends, living in a Jewish community together. We, like I said, we try to create this kibbutz-like community. So we do that in a lot of different ways. One way is that in the morning we all take responsibility for some part of camp. So I know I see a couple Tavor campers in the room. Can you tell me a little bit about what avodah is?
Avodah is when you do something in the morning, like a job. I did tobo, which was like dishes.
Yeah. So in the morning, every single camper of every age So that means, 7-year-olds all the way through 18-year-olds will partner together with counselors and take responsibility for some part of camp. So one was called Tobo, which is, it's doing dishes. And you're doing it together, you're listening to music, and you're making a contribution. There are other folks who help to harvest eggs, to put the compost in the garden, to chop vegetables to support lunch and dinner prep. What are some others? Feeding the animals.
What is it? Finding lentils, baby.
Certainly assisting with lentils could be an avodah, absolutely. And it's one way that we sort of start the day thinking about each other and understanding that we are a critical part of camp. Camp would not function without us. Another thing that we do to sort of honor how important every single person at camp is this ritual and this activity called Hyde Park. So on Saturdays, we gather together, all together. We sit in a big circle as a camp, and every single camper, no matter what age, can come and stand up on this milk crate, and they can share how they want camp to change or something that they love about camp. So sometimes it's talking about the food and how the food was this week. Sometimes they have a programming idea that they want to share. What were some of the other things we heard this summer? Looking over here. Yes, people often are very excited about the chocolate chip pancakes, and they will give a shout out to the kitchen staff. So it's a place every single week where we hear from any camper, and everybody's voice is valued, and we're excited to hear from everybody. Some big ideas, some things that are really important to us at camp are the environment and thinking about the environment in our world. We try to bring as much food as we can from the garden into the kitchen and into the cafeteria, the Cheder Ochel. And another thing is we go camping. Who's gone camping in the room? Do you go with family mostly? Yeah, awesome. So we would be building on that. We leave camp for a night or two, and we travel to beautiful places in Michigan and work on our camping skills, so that we can camp throughout the rest of our lives and have those skills and learn a little bit about how loving the natural world and loving the environment is connected to our Jewish identities. Yeah? Absolutely, yes. So you'll learn all about how to set up tents. Actually, our middle school and high school campers sleep in tents. They sleep in these large canvas tents that are they're sort of somewhat like a cabin and somewhat like a tent. And then our elementary school campers sleep in cabins together. We can go, and then another thing is, who knows what tikkun olam is? You heard that language? All right. Well, so it's language Hebrew that often means repairing the world. Sometimes it's a part of religious school. I'm sure you'll talk about it soon. And at Tavor, it's an important part of what we do at camp. We want to enjoy each other, have fun, go swimming, play sports, dance, theater, and we want to make sure that we're also making the world a better place, both in camp and outside of camp. So one time a session, we'll leave camp for the day with our different age groups, so all the folks in 3rd grade, all the folks in 5th grade, and we'll go and we'll learn from some community groups, and learn together about our different worlds, our different communities, and try to make the world a little bit better on that day. Next one. All right. So just a little bit about sort of how we live at camp. Is we live in small groups, either in cabins or tents, with people who are our same age and our same gender. But then right across from our tent or our cabin is everybody else in our age group. So we sort of live with the people who are your same grade. But then we do so much of camp together with people who are very different grades. That's one of the things that's quite special about Tavor, is we do a lot of sort of intergenerational programming. So the avodah that was mentioned, you might be doing that with, a high school student, and you're all working together, helping on the dishes or helping in the farm or whatever it is. We can go on to the next one. This is talking just a little bit about the arc of the day. Like we talked about, we start with avodah. We have opportunities for electives and sports and singing, fun evening activities that we do sometimes all together as a camp, sometimes just with your smaller age group. We go on a camping trip. We go on a Tikkun Olam trip. And we have a really fun day in the middle of the summer when the counselors in training, the high schoolers, take over camp for the day and they kick out all of the adults and run the show. So that's really fun. Yeah. Yeah, that is an excellent question. The question was about bedtime. We do have bedtimes. But the day is filled with activity. Most people are very excited about bedtime once it comes around. Yeah. And it's different for each age group. So every year you get a little bit older, the bedtime's a little bit later. Okay, next one. And then I'll just talk about Shabbat and then, make myself available for questions. So what are some of your favorite ways of celebrating Shabbat? Anybody have a Shabbat? Yeah. Amazing. Yes, me too. So that's one of the things I love most is we come together as a camp at Tavor, gathering together, sort of holding hands and gathering together up on this large hill that overlooks the lake. We sing together to welcome Shabbat. After our large community meal together, we dance on the basketball court and then play basketball into the evening. It's all about being together, all about enjoying each other. And then on Saturday morning, that's when we have the chocolate chip pancakes and Havdalah and other rituals. So lots of things that you might have experienced at home and some new things that you might bring into how you celebrate Shabbat when you're home. So I want to just, wrap up. If anybody has any specific questions about camp, please come find me, find Randy. If there are any parents here who'd like to learn more, there's a sign-up sheet that you can sign up on. And we gave everybody seeds because we feel like it's really valuable to take some responsibility over food and to learn about how to grow food. So this is all parsley, and if you plant it, you'll have parsley ready for your Seder plate. So we have extras. If you have a faulty packet, you just let us know. And I hope that you all have a beautiful rest of your day, and thank you for your time.